Most people have no idea where they actually stand with their money. In this video, we are going to break down how Americans are actually doing financially by looking at their income, savings, net worth, and debt. You'll be able to see exactly how you stack up. Let's start with the number everyone obsesses over: income. The median household income in the US is around $74,500 a year. That's household, not individual, which means half of the Americans live on less than that, and half live on more. Now, here's the kicker. So many people equate income with wealth, but it doesn't work like that. High income is only an opportunity. Wealth is what you keep. I have seen dentists making $200,000 a year who are broke because they spend it all on car leases, big houses, lifestyle upgrades. Every dollar that comes in goes right back out. I've seen families making $60,000, but they live slightly below their means, save diligently, and invest consistently. And who do you think is in the stronger position? This is why income matters. It is not the real scoreboard though. The real one is net worth. Net worth is simply everything you own minus everything you owe. Assets minus liabilities. That is the truest reflection of financial progress. And right now, the median net worth in America is about $192,900. That number feels huge to some people, but tiny to others. But here's where it gets interesting. Net worth isn't flat across all ages. It grows as people build equity in their homes, grow retirement accounts, and hopefully pay down their debts. If you are under 35, the median net worth is about $40,000. Between the age of 35 and 44, it is $135,600. By your 40s and 50, it goes up to about $247K. And by the time you're 60, the average pushes to over $350K. So if you are in your 30s, if you got $80,000 in net worth, you might feel behind, but you're actually doing better than most of your peers. And if you are 50 years old with over $500,000, you're not just on track, you are in the top slice of the American households. But net worth has one weakness. It doesn't tell you you can actually handle a surprise bill. That's where savings come in. Here's a stat that should scare you a little. 35% of Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings. Think about what that means. A flat tire, a car repair, a trip to the ER with or without medical insurance, or even missing one paycheck could send someone into financial chaos. And that's not rare. That's 1 in 3 Americans. That's why financial experts recommend an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Because it's not about earning points, it's about survival. It is about sleeping at night knowing you can handle life's curveballs. However, savings alone won't make you wealthy. It just keeps you from going broke. To actually build wealth, your money has to grow. And that's where investments come in. Only 58% of Americans own stocks, and most of that is indirect through retirement accounts like 401k or IRA. Not because people are actively investing. That means nearly half of the country isn't participating in the wealth building machine of the stock market. So if you are consistently putting money into index funds, ETFs like VOO or SCHD, or just contributing regularly to a retirement account, you are already ahead of nearly half of the country. And here's why that matters. Savings have a ceiling. Investments do not. A $10,000 emergency fund is safety, but a $10,000 investment portfolio, that's a seed. A seed that with time can turn into $100,000 and then $500,000 and into your financial freedom. I still remember the first time I saw my portfolio earn more in a single day than I made at work. It wasn't thousands. It was maybe $800. But that moment changed me. My money worked harder than I did that day. That's when you stop feeling trapped by your paycheck. But of course, it's hard to invest when debt is sucking the life out of your paycheck. And debt is where Americans are really getting crushed. The average household debt in America is about $103,000. Most of it is in mortgages, which isn't always a bad debt, but then you've got student loans, car loans, personal loans, and the heavyweight champ of bad debt, credit cards. Credit card balances in the US have officially crossed $1 trillion. And the average interest rate right now, about 21%. That means if you owe $10,000 on a credit card, you are paying more than $2,000 a year in just interest. That's why debt can feel like a quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. If you are managing to stay out of high interest debt, or you are aggressively paying it off, you are already doing better than most households. When I was paying down my student loans, I made it my mission to get rid of them fast. Even when I had $230,000 from multiple loans for my dental school, with the average interest of 5.6%, my focus was about 60% on paying those loans down and 40% on growing my investments. Because I hated the feeling of owing money. The day I made my last payment, it was the greatest feeling ever. It felt like I had bought back freedom, and freedom is what money is all about. So when you compare yourself financially, don't just ask, how much do I make? That's surface level. Instead, ask yourself, what is my net worth? How much debt do I have? And do I have enough emergency fund to save me from bad situations? Because those are the real markers of financial health. Most people compare themselves to the wrong people. They compare themselves to the loud ones, the ones flashing lifestyles on social media, new car, new house. Quiet wealth doesn't show off, and quiet wealth doesn't need validation. If you have no credit card debt, a 6 months emergency fund, and you are investing consistently, you are already doing better than most Americans, even if your income isn't the highest. Wealth isn't about looking rich. It is about having choices, having peace of mind, and having control over your time. And when you start stacking these numbers up against the averages, you might realize you are not behind at all. You might actually be ahead. You might be quietly winning. So here's my challenge to you. Stop comparing yourself to people who are louder, flashier, and often secretly broke. Compare yourselves to averages. If you are doing better, keep going. If you are behind, you now know exactly where to focus first: debt, savings, or investing. If you have found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. This will help out the channel so much, and I will be forever grateful. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.